Copyright pages contain detailed information about a book and how it was made. This tutorial will show you what types of information you can find on a copyright page. We will start with the basics, which you probably already know, and then discuss some of the more complex content by examining these books I found on the floor of my boyfriend's apartment. We'll also go over exactly what a copyright is, how to register one, and when a book becomes part of the public domain. In Sir Peter Jackson's biography, there are two authors' names next to the date of publication. Don't worry if you can't read it, I'll highlight the important parts. This book lists several locations where it was published, but only the main one is necessary if you are using it for a bibliography. Although the title is not listed on the copyright page of this book, the publisher is clear, as well as the first edition. Other common elements include numbers that help identify the book and its print run, and also legal or medical disclaimers or general acknowledgement of those who helped produce the book. In Bill Bryson, A Short History of Everything, there are 13 numbers after the title. This is the International Standard Book Number, or ISBN. An ISBN number can be a 10 or 13-digit number, or a book can have both. Like the Library of Congress number, this is a unique number that helps identify the book. This number is different from the printer's key, which you can find at the bottom of most copyright pages. The printer's key is a series of numbers that indicate the print run. It's not the same as the first edition. An edition may have several print runs. This is the 32nd print run of this edition. Textbooks contain much of the same information, although usually a little more. Here you can see the publisher acknowledging the book's typesetter. Disclaimers can take many forms. In Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman's book, Good Omens, there are two. One states that the characters are indeed fictional, while the other provides a practical advice about the apocalypse. With all of the information on a copyright page, it is easy to get confused about what a copyright actually is. Literally, it means the right to copy. It is a set of laws created by a government to give an author exclusive rights for a limited time to profit from their original work. There are a lot of misconceptions about copyright law. For example, a friend of mine believed there was such thing as a poor man's copyright. He would send himself copies of his work and keep the envelope unopened. The U.S. Copyright Office maintains a website that explains why this is a myth. It also has information on the current legislation, registering a copyright, the fair use of materials still under copyright, and a lot more. As you may have noticed, I'm in New Zealand. But if I was interested in a book from the United States, or a book that was printed there, I would go to copyright.gov. In 2009, I organized and illustrated a fictional anthology about a secret writers' society. At the time it was written, it was automatically protected by copyright. I didn't have to register it. Because the contributing authors were hired to produce the content of the book, the copyright will expire in 95 years after the date of creation. If it was the work of a single author, but published anonymously, it would expire in 120 years. If it had not been published, the copyright would last for the life of the author, plus 70 years. If the author's date of expiration was unknown, it would extend until 120 years after the date of creation. When the copyright term of a book ends, anyone can copy and use its content. Registration costs money, but it can help in worst-case scenarios. Copyright law no longer protects books by American authors published before 1923. Some well-known authors from many countries have books in the public domain. A book published before 1977 without a copyright notice is also not protected. For more information, consult the Copyright Authority for the country and era when the book was published. Even some notable 20th century authors, such as Kurt Vonnegut and Ayn Rand, have a few books in the public domain. Let's go back to my boyfriend's apartment and see if the Kurt Vonnegut book he has is in the public domain. This one is clearly still under copyright protection. But even if it weren't, I would only be able to use it and make copies of it, not claim it as my own. Being inspired by a book or sharing copies of it is one thing. Plagiarism, on the other hand, is truly morally vile.